Hi there. Welcome to Before You Go. We are a lifestyle portal for those seeking support in the areas of mental health and wellness. Our goal is to help you reach financial and social emotional freedom. One of the pathways to emotional freedom is through understanding yourself and how you show up in the world. So, thanks again for joining us today for Avoiding Negative Emotional Patterns Through Self Awareness. Before we get started, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. Again, today's topic is self awareness. This is part of our Breaking Pathologies series, so be sure to tune in for more on this important subject. When we talk about self awareness, there's some criteria that you should look for. Some of that criteria includes avoiding repeating negative emotional patterns like gaslighting, and we'll talk more about gaslighting in a second. You should look for if you have a set of healthy go to activities that make you feel better. So, a healthy go to activity is not, drinking milkshakes, but maybe drinking a really healthy smoothie or exercising, maybe writing down something in a journal or writing poetry of some sort. Those are healthy go to activities. Another thing you should look for is you should know how to consistently be successful. So the way that you're consistently successful is to form good habits of success. Now, before I mentioned gaslighting is a kind of a rather new term or popular term, I'll say. And really, it's one of those negative emotional patterns that you can fall into if you have that sort of person around you. And so, gaslighting kind of refers to a specific type of manipulation where the manipulator is trying to get you to just kind of question your own reality, your memories, your perception. It really is a form of bullying. Some other things we should look for if we're trying to be more self aware. Are you able to make tough decisions without regret? Do your emotional reactions match the situation? And are you able to receive feedback and constructive criticism very well? There's a really important quote that talks about observing oneself, right? And there's a way that you can literally do that. You can literally write down observations of yourself in particular situations. So, again, when you're talking about those gaslighting situations, or if you had a emotional response that you were, kind of embarrassed about or you would like to change, just be an observer of self. Write down your self observations as you would anyone else or anything else. Be very descriptive. And remember to write down the why behind your actions, right? So rate yourself and look for trends over time. So if you do this several times, you should start to notice trends about your behavior, therefore becoming more self aware. Another thing you can do is to focus on just one thing to change at a time, right? So you know that change is a slow process, it doesn't happen overnight. So it makes sense to just try to change one thing at a time. And again, looking for the why behind your behavior is going to show you those trends and it's going to help you create habits of change. Now, here at Before You Go, we have a self awareness challenge. So, other people or groups or platforms, they have challenges of all sorts, and we have a self awareness challenge. And I won't read it to you, but it's a 30-day group activity where you get no more than 4 friends or family members together. And of course, they should be like minded and want to build their self awareness. They should want to know how they show up in the world, right? So, put simply, you're going to ask them to write down one challenging situation that they've experienced during the month. And you guys are going to set a date and time to do a Zoom call or Google Meet, whatever your preference is. And you're going to discuss some of these activities, some of these things that have occurred, the why behind it, and go on from there. So there's a whole sheet that goes with it, a worksheet that goes with it that I'll be more than happy to send you if you email me. But it's a really nice activity. And again, it's something that you may want to continue with your group, or you may learn something just from that one sitting. So that's the Before You Go Self Awareness Challenge. Let us know how it goes. Now, let's recap the strategies that we've learned today. So, we're talking about self awareness, how we show up in the world. And again, this is part of our Breaking Pathology series, right? We want to break some of those pathologies that show up throughout generations within the African American home and family. So, some of those coping strategies we've talked about today are laughing, learning to laugh at situations, finding the humor in it, learning to observe yourself, right? Being very specific and explicit about your observations, knowing that change is slow. So, giving yourself grace and allowing yourself to change one thing at a time. And then going ahead and challenging yourself, right? Going ahead and challenging yourself and your friends and family. So, that was a quick tutorial on self awareness. Hopefully, you've gained some knowledge through this tutorial, and hopefully, you're on your way to emotional freedom. Check back with us soon.